Hi everyone, today is the first in a small series of colouring. I'm going to do these 4 images, one on each video. These are Agotapop pictures. She has them for free on her website, so I would include a list, link in the description so you can download them and colour along with me if you want to. I've also been gifted a set of her colouring. She has lots of really lovely colouring pictures. I accidentally printed these double-sided, but I think it'll be okay to colour them this way round. Someone sent me these as a gift. She bought 2 sets, one for herself and one for me. So that's really lovely. I'm looking forward to doing these. So these you have to pay for, but these are a little sample set for you to have a go at without paying. So that's very kind of her to supply these for us for free, and also very kind of someone to send me those lovely ones, which I'm really looking forward to doing. But I thought I would do these on video because you can get these even if you haven't paid for the set, but the other ones seem to have a little more detail on them, which I think is fun. But we can have a go at these ones. Let's come in nice and close. It's probably a little bit too close. Hold on, there we go. So our first little character is this gingerbread man, which I think he's ever such fun. And I've got my Polychromos. I just thought I would grab those. You can do them as any sort of cookie really, but I think gingerbread is probably what he is supposed to be. But what I'm going to do is start with my burnt umber pencil and do a little bit around the edge, just because I figured there might be a little bit darker just around the edge. If you think about a gingerbread man that you make or buy, they sometimes have a little bit of darker. I mean, this is really dark. It's going to fade once the other colours go on top. Where it's sort of caught more in the oven on the edges, and that's what I'm trying to sort of go for really. Now I'm going to try and not do these bits. I think these will be sort of icing, but I may do the icing in pen anyway. A little bit about the paper that I'm using as well. This is Bristol board. I'll put a link to it in the description. It'll be my affiliate link. I'm now going to use a little bit of burnt sienna. It's a little bit more orangey. I think it looks more gingerbready. Is that the right one? Yes, it is. So I'm going to do all over now. Apart from the bits that I want to look like they're iced. What was I going to say? Yes, Bristol board. I'll put a link to it as well, but I can only find it in the UK, so I can't do an equivalent brand for USA, but there might be other companies that make Bristol board, and it's particularly designed for use with pencils, so that's nice. However, if you use any sort of pen, maybe, I mean, it's okay if you use little hints of pen or pen on top of the pencil, but if you want to use a thick pen, it's really bad. The wet just eats up the surface. You couldn't use pen and watercolour pencils, anything like that. Now this is a bit scruffy at the minute. It will come. I'm just getting a layer of colour down really. Yeah, so it's not designed for wet at all. So I have put, as I say, soft pastels, they work okay. But I did do a picture on this and use a pen on the background, and I wanted the pen not to look too streaky, you know, a water-based marker. So I coloured it like this, and it ate up all the paper. The paper just disappeared as I did it. It was terrible. I'm going to use this brown ochre now on top. I'm going to sharpen it, actually. Yes, so it just was awful. So don't use pen. I mean, I think the odd spot of pen, a dot of pen or a line, I can't see any problem with, but trying to actually put down a thick layer, oh no. Of course you can just use copy paper, any paper, the Polychromos, if you choose to use those, they go down really well on any paper, so it doesn't really matter too much. So I'm trying to think about colours. Not sure, he's got like this sort of icing hair, and I'm trying to wonder what colour to do that, whether to leave it white or do it coloured. I mean, do you do it hair coloured? But he's sort of gingerbready colour. Could do it black, like hair. I'm trying to think of sort of food colouring colours, do you know what I mean? As of course you can mix up your food colouring so you can get any colour, but I'm sort of thinking people probably wouldn't do that. You probably use red for the bow and white and black, that sort of thing. Really, you sort of make quite mixed up colours, so I don't know. Have a think. Keep going with my colouring and have a think as I go. And the holly bit, I mean, I'll probably do that in holly colours just because you can probably buy, you used to be able to buy like sugar holly that you could use to decorate cakes with and things. Okay, now it's still looking quite messy. I'm going to grab my dark colour again and do another layer of the burnt umber. Just to re-emphasise those darker areas that I wanted to look a little bit darker. And then back to our burnt sienna. This time I'm not going to put this all over though, I'm just going to extend the edge a bit. Just sort of try and neaten that up a bit and make it just a little bit darker coming in from the edge. I'm finding it really hard to see the way the light is shining off this paper. Hopefully you can see okay. It's making it hard to colour. Yeah, you can see okay. Okay, and now back again with the brown ochre. I'm leaning him on a book. I don't tend to colour paper straight onto the desk. It doesn't feel very comfortable. I can do it. This desk is really smooth, but I like a bit of cushioning. Really. So having a little book. This is a Colouring Heaven magazine. I knew I wasn't going to colour the cover, so I thought I'll lean on it. It won't matter if it gets a bit indented. It shouldn't really get indented because I'm not pressing that hard, and this paper's quite thick. I think it's, I can't remember what the GSM, paper's measured in grams per square metre, GSM. I can't remember what it is for this, but it's quite thick. I'll show you, you'll see. Which is nice, but only just fits in my printer. Sometimes my printer makes quite a lot of noise when I'm printing on it, using this paper. But I like it, so it's worth it. I prefer a slightly thicker paper to the just the photocopy paper that we normally run through our printer, but you can use that. And also you can sort of buy cardstock and things like that, which is usually quite good for colouring in. Now I've got to look to the side to tidy it up. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think he's looking quite cute. Now we can try and give him a slightly bumpy, biscuity texture, because he is a biscuit after all. He shouldn't be completely smooth. He's not completely smooth, but I'm going to use the dark colour that I was using before, and I'm going to use it in a few different places. So again, this is the burnt umber, and I'm going to use it underneath all the areas that would have icing on, because the icing is going to be sitting a little bit above our gingerbread man, so it will create a little bit of a shadow, and hopefully that will help give it more of a three-dimensional look. So that is my first sort of idea. I think these little cheeks I might do in pink. Could do the bow in pink, but I think he needs to be red to be a bit more Christmassy. And under here. Now also, if we go like this across him, it looks a little bit more biscuity. Oh, excuse me, sniffing. There we go. So a few little dents where he's not completely smooth. Now, I'm gonna do, let's have a think. Black, I think black buttons and eyes it's got to be. Oops, black. I'm going to try and make it lighter in the middle so it looks like it's a blob of icing. It's going to be a bit tricky on these really small bits, but do what I can. There we go. And then his cheeks I want to do in a pink, and I don't see why not. I've got this the dark flesh, it's got a different name now, I'll just look it up for you. Salmon. We'll do that for his cheeks. Again, we might want to, I'm just going to sharpen, make it look like it's a bit of a blob. It's a good word. So we'll come around the edge and bring it up to the middle. Like that. There we go. Now, because it could be like Smarties, couldn't they? Sweets. Now his bow needs to be red. I think, yeah, let's go for this one. This is the dark red. It's nice and long. Makes a change for me, doesn't it? I'm going to do a light layer and then think about this because it's sort of piped on. So normally I think, oh, it's got to be even. But I can see how it's drawn. It's been drawn to have a darker bit in here. So I might just make it darker there. Try and keep the rest fairly even. Such a cutie, isn't he? Go. And I'm thinking I might do these bits in red as well. Keep it really festive looking then. I'm trying to make them a little bit darker at each end. Just to maybe make the biscuit look a bit more rounded, because I think it would be lower down here. Just where it sort of would rise more in the middle. Sounding like I know a lot about biscuits. Probably know more about eating biscuits than I do about cooking biscuits. I'm just sharpening up. I'm going to do the holly berries. Again, I'm going to try and make those look like blobs. Do I have sharpened my pencil? It's got a curly end. Look at that. Probably snap off in a minute. So I'm going to try and go dark around the edge. And then layers as we go in towards the middle. And the same on this one. Now you could do several colours. You could do a slightly lighter red in the middle, but because it's so small, I'm not going to. Now, of course, because these are a download, you can actually print them bigger if you want. Now, obviously, the whole idea is that they're called, she calls them Christmas tinies. They're small and they're less daunting to colour, but you could make them big and colour them large if you wanted. I've just noticed a bit of, could do with a bit of brown there. It's not always easy to get close to an edge of a bit that you're trying to not colour. Going back in and just tidying it up. There we go. Right, my next thing is the holly. I'm thinking this green. This is the permanent green. Oh, you can't see. Does that help you? No. I'm sorry. Again, I'm not going to worry too much about colour, changing the colour really too much, because I'm thinking this again is probably a little sweet, a bit of an iced one that you can buy or something, or it could be that the person who's made this gingerbread man has iced it beautifully, of course. So I'm going to try and make it just a little bit darker on the edges, and then, but not massively so. There we go. And the last one. I might just do a layer first. And then just take it a bit darker through. There we go. Now this bit of icing's got little blobs. Now I was thinking that I had said about doing black for black hair. I'm wondering whether it might be better to do silver, because black is a bit stark. I'm going to try silver. This is a silver pencil. You won't be able to read that. Oh. It's gold written on silver. It's really bad. But anyway, I'm going to colour him in silver here. I'm going to colour over those little circles. They're really difficult to not colour, and I'll do them in a minute. I'm not sure what colour to do them, to be honest. That looks really messy. It's so hard to see. There we go, that's getting better. Having to twist my head round so I can actually see what I'm doing. I don't know why it's so difficult today to see. It's just a funny light in here. Dots. What colour for the dots? I'm thinking maybe black. Let's go with black. Now we want a few last minute touches with a white pen. Just going to find the one I want. This is the 05 Sakura, which I think would be best because I've got some really small. I want to just do the edge of here. Taking a lot of concentration. I don't even know if it really shows, but there he is, our little gingerbread man. So he's a little cutie, isn't he? So that's him, and tomorrow we shall do the next one. But thank you very much for watching. As I say, the link will be in the description where you can print the free download. But do take a look at her page because she's got lots of really lovely pictures that you can do. There are free gift tags, which I did last year, but also the lovely ones that you pay for, and she's got an Etsy shop with lots of things on as well, so do consider taking a look and supporting her. But for now, thank you for watching. Tune in tomorrow for the next one, and happy colouring.